ahead and get started today. I'm Elizabeth Westhoff. I'm the Director of Communications for the Archdiocese of St. Louis. And I'm going to have Teresa Ruzicka, President of Catholic Charities, come forward.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to welcome you to Catholic Charities. This is our central office here in St. Louis. We actually have 8 agencies, but this is where we sort of say our headquarters is. So we just want to welcome you and are glad to have the opportunity to offer our space to you. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Archbishop Robert Carlson now, Archbishop of the Archdiocese of St. Louis, to come forward.
Thank you very much, and welcome to the Archbishop Carlson training room. So if you all take out your iPads, I have a few things I want to share with you. So actually, as you probably know, Catholic education has been a long-standing presence in the location which we call John F. Kennedy High School, which was established back in 1968. So I'm delighted and pleased that Fontbonne University and the Archdiocese of St. Louis have been able to come to an early agreement on the transfer of the property where JFK High School stood for nearly 50 years. One of the goals of the Alive in Christ Mission Advancement Initiative was to implement a focus on Catholic education here in the Archdiocese, at the grade school, high school, and obviously at the college level. Over the past 200 years, the Catholic Church in St. Louis has remained committed in passing on the faith to new generations of Catholics through its many different schools. And obviously, there's a proud tradition of that at Fontbonne University, which began under the leadership of the Sisters of St. Joseph. As the current Archbishop of the Church in St. Louis, like the other bishops who preceded me, I have promoted and supported our schools, and Catholic education remains my #1 priority, as it did for all those who went before me. Fontbonne University will continue to work with the Kennedy alumni with regard to access to the location for their events and their experience of what it means to be a high school graduate in St. Louis. As a matter of fact, as you all know, the most important question in St. Louis is what high school did you go to? That's been difficult for me since I didn't go to high school here. So some people are wondering if I ever graduated. So finally, since I went to a Christian Brothers High School, I just say CBC, and they accept that. I'm not so sure CBC is so happy about that, but I say it anyway. I'm delighted that we will continue the tradition of Catholic education with our great 200-year history in this partnership with Fontbonne University. And I congratulate the university, its board, its faculty and administration in making this decision. Thank you very much.
Now I'd like to introduce to the microphone Dr. Mike Pressimone, the President of Fontbonne University.
Thank you. Well, this is an exciting day for the university, and as you can tell in part by the great crowd of university folks that are gathered here today. You know, nearly 100 years ago, the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet took a bold step and established a college for women in Clayton, Missouri. There have been other milestones in Fontbonne's history which have moved the university forward in dramatic ways. This purchase of the 23-acre John F. Kennedy Catholic High School property is another historic event for the university. There are many who deserve thanks for helping us seize this moment. I'm especially grateful to you, Archbishop Carlson, for your support throughout this process. Many others who are a part of the university team have played active roles in preparing for this day and our eventual start of business at the Kennedy Catholic site, and I thank all of you who are a part of that. In 2015, the university began its current strategic planning process. Chief among the many goals and objectives which now drive our work are plans to significantly expand enrollment. To accomplish that, we needed to look for outdoor athletic facilities to call our own, and for an opportunity to expand our academic programs to reach communities that have seen significant population growth. When it was announced last September that Kennedy High School was closing, we immediately let it be known that we were eager for such an opportunity to expand both academic and athletic initiatives in the growing West County area. Griffin Athletics, and we have many of our coaches and athletes here today, has a proud and rich history. Our student athletes have achieved success on and off the field of play over the years, despite having no fields to call our own. This new West Campus will become the home for Griffin Athletics and provide an opportunity for our student athletes to shine on a field they can truly call their own. In addition to the field complex, the indoor facilities will allow us to accommodate necessary indoor practices and to expand the number of sports we offer and the size of our rosters. This is one of the keys to the growth of our undergraduate program. In addition, the Archdiocese has maintained well 108,000 square feet of usable interior space, which will serve our growing graduate and adult student population. We are pleased to be joined this morning by some representatives from our important community college partners. We thank them for their presence and for their partnership. Our hope is that this West County facility will enable more of their students to complete a values-rich undergraduate degree at Fontbonne University. And we plan to hit the ground running with 6 new or expanded graduate programs and several undergraduate degree completion programs. We're also joined today by Greg Laposa. He is the Vice President Education Strategies for the St. Louis Regional Chamber of Commerce. We are proud to partner with them and our higher education colleagues in an effort to move our region into the top 10 in the country for degree completion. The Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, who founded Fontbonne in 1923, very simply described their work as serving the dear neighbor without distinction. This expansion will allow Fontbonne to serve our dear neighbors to the west and an expanding undergraduate pool of scholar athletes. At the same time, we remain firmly committed to our Clayton home, which will house our residential students and continue to serve our dear neighbors to the east, from our region, from around the nation, and around the world. Our recently announced Fontbonne Promise program is an example of how we will serve the dear neighbor who needs access to affordable, debt-free educational opportunities. To be sure, there is still much to be done. A major and complicated transaction like this has many steps in its process. We have a strong team in place to help us prepare, cross the finish line, and begin a new era for Fontbonne University. We look forward to getting to know our new neighbors in Manchester, Missouri, and we know we can be as much of a valuable community partner in Manchester as we are with our dear friends and neighbors in Clayton. We have other new friends as well. Our dear friends from Catholic Family Services will continue to occupy some of the space at John F. Kennedy Catholic High School. And finally, a word of thanks to the members of our Board of Trustees who have been with us every step of the way in this process. It takes leadership both internally and through volunteers to make such a bold move. And a bold move it is. We are excited about this opportunity to grow and serve the St. Louis region and our students. And Archbishop Carlson, I have one more favor to ask. Please keep us in your prayers as we embark on this exciting journey.
Absolutely, guaranteed.
Thank you very much.
That concludes the press conference, but does anybody have any questions for the Archbishop or Dr. Pressman?
Do you have any sort of, if you could just do it from the podium again, timeline on when there will be sports being played out there? You know, when practices?
We're in a period right now where we're going through the process of zoning and financing, and so we anticipate that's going to take another several months. If all goes well, I would expect that we would probably start construction. I'm looking at David Coleman, who's with Canon Design, probably sometime next summer. It would take probably a year to get fields ready.
So
right.
Fall of 19.
Yeah, so it would include some artificial turf work, and there's a lot of dirt to be moved, and we have to get the fields up to NCAA level competition. And so it'll take probably about a year, so fall of 19.
Are you going to be knocking down buildings out there to make
Not at
more
all.
room for the current?
No, we have no
spaces?
plans to remove any buildings. As I said, the buildings have been very well maintained. There's some work that we need to do, but we'll bring on classrooms as necessary to meet the demand that's created out there.
Sorry if I can.
Yeah.
If there's anyone from the athletic department that a coach or player that
Maria Buckle is our athletic director. Maria, you want to come forward?
I'm kind of curious what the current situation is for your athletes, and what it's been like not having fields in Clayton.
Anytime you don't have a home, it's very challenging, especially whenever you don't have significant amount of branding on the facilities. So we're really looking forward to finally having the space, one that we can occupy outside of our class times. It's often the case that many of our teams do not have their entire roster at practices due to the restrictions on the fields that we currently utilize. That, and when we bring recruits, we want to be able to see Fontbonne Griffins basically all over the facilities. So very excited about the opportunity to finally have some outdoor spaces to call our own.
Are you guys able to play home games now?
Yes, we currently have relationships at different areas across the city, whether that be in St. Anne or in Clayton, and that's where we play our home competitions.
I have a feeling there are no further questions. All right, well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for coming to the Catholic Charities' new location. And if you have any further questions, you can reach out to Elizabeth Brennan or me after the press conference. Thank you very much.
I'll be there for sure.
Do you guys want to photograph together? Is that-
Yeah.
Sure.